Hey guys, welcome to this week's channel. So today we will be talking about the exhibition Things I Love. I'm going to point out some of my favourite bits from the collection Things I Love and give you a walk around. And there's 35 pieces in the collection. You can see more on the blog below. And let's have a walk through and have a look. So this series here is part of my lunar collection that I'm doing. You've got from here where it is the buck moon to the angel on the moon, which I really love how I played with photography on this one, and lighting of actual natural scaffolding that was around to capturing a strawberry moon. And this one's pretty special as well, because when I have a look closely at it, what that is Jupiter and 4 of its moons orbiting around that we had. This is the space that it's in. It's currently showing up until the 26th of December. And there's my little friend with me today giving you a viewing. So say hello, Alex. As I said, it's currently on until the 26th of December. There's a collection from poetry and watercolours to me doing monoprinting, 2 watercolours as well. This particular piece was selected to go on the Royal Marsden site, so thank you so much for promoting that on Instagram. I am also donating some of the proceeds to actually the Royal Marsden, as well as another charity, and it will be 40% in total of the collection here that will be going towards good causes I believe in total. This piece is a very special piece for me. This one is called Future Kings and Queens. It's a mixed media piece. It took me pretty much 2 years to do. I done it, and this whole area here I wasn't completely happy with. I scraped half of it off and reworked on top of it, and the textural effects that it's actually happened when you look closely into it. It's got a lot of energy in this one and a lot of meaning. Talking about energy and meaning, I would like to move on to energy painting number 1, The Enchanted Garden. So this piece is another mixed media piece, and what I personally love about this one is I did an online campaign some of you may have seen, and that already raised £50 plus towards Mind Charity. When I made this painting, I actually did it in a state of when I was in meditation, and when I come out of meditation, and that kind of feeling when you're a bit sleepy, you're a bit out of it, and that kind of like you've just woken up stage. And whenever I was feeling that from meditating or anything else, I'd rush out into the garden. It would normally be in the twilight hours because I wanted to do something when I finished my main work. I could do it afterwards as a relaxing thing. So this is why you've got these deep blues. It was when the sun was starting to set, and I just paint until the sun goes down. If I got distracted or anything, or my mood changed, maybe a phone went off or something, then I just put the paintbrush down and go back when I was in this vibe. This took quite a very long time to do. We've also got other pieces which I've done in the past. This is a newer series that I've been doing, and this one is effectively watercolours. It was inspired by the idea of actually flowers don't have to actually be just enjoyed at the actual stage of them being perfect and pretty, but actually to look at the actual stage of when they are wilting and still enjoy those flowers, as you can see here. You've got some other kind of techniques, and when you look closely into it, sometimes I do little hidden bits. You might recognise that London view or that skyline, and this is called a view from the palace. These both were actually watercolours done when I was in Cornwall in 2015. To this collection, which was actually drawn when I was in Barbados, This would be at Treasure Beach, looking at Sandy Lane Hall Place, and looking at that's actually was Rihanna's place. This was just me capturing the energy of Earth and Mother Nature and what I was feeling in Barbados and the natural colours that were coming across and beauty. And took 2 days, one to do the backdrop, and what I saw in the backdrop afterwards I outlined in the black. And this one was about alone time. I didn't realise at the time of doing this that how it was going to come out, but it was quite a meditative time watching these boulders by the sea line, and they were all kind of done at the same time. I do like mixing my media, so you'll see a contrast like behind me where this is a vintage map of A to Z of the M25 belt and me doing a print on lino cutting and working within that and printing on top, to also my torso, which is literally my torso. So yes, a little bit of self-life drawing there. These two are particularly quite beautiful. This was when it was 2020 to 2022 during the lockdown stage, and I made this textured paper, and then after making the textured paper I didn't know what to do with it, and then another year came and another spring and I watched the irises grow again and decided to do the irises just on top of the paper. So this was a real treat how it came out, including this one which was 2019, and it was watercolour and willow charcoal, again working on a background first, and then this called Never Alone, with the idea of this person with their dog walking through the woods, no matter how they feel, they're not alone with their little companion. We have other pieces here. This is a very special one to me. This one was actually called Unnamed But Loved 2204-2020, and it's a single print on actually canvas where I actually did it the same way as I would with my other monoprint. So if I turn it around, you can actually see where I draw and work live into relief and then print from the glass. It was very special, and to get the techniques that I've done there. I do ones with local kind of cafes and love architectural drawing and more working with textured layers. And this one is Crystal Palace, Subway. I do find this one, let me get in there with you, I do find this one particularly interesting, and the reason of that being is because I went on one of the days when London do an open house, and I think this one really was the start of me doing all this. I've got an art degree and I've done artwork in the past, but this was one that I sat on my iPad inspired somewhere, and I drew it when I was in a pub actually, and then went back home and worked on it, printed it, and then what you will find is not just a normal print. What I would do in certain pieces like here and here, they will actually be Pantoned and hand coloured and featured. So it's a series 1 of 3, this is the third of 3, but all of them will be like slightly different because I will retouch them by hand. I like things that have a feeling that you just look at it at a glance and basically you go, oh, and when you see something again, if you compare it, it might be slightly different. Which leads me to one that's been very popular this time of showing. Let me just give you some footage of this one. This one I call It Ain't Paris, but I Love Crystal Palace. Now at a glance, it's quite a long one, as you can see with the perspective of the windows of the building where we're in. But when you look at it closely, you will see there's watercolour, but there's also mixed with embroidery, and then more watercolour, and the graffiti style writing, it's meant to look very quick and messy. If you look very closely, it is actually mixed with embroidery. So it's all embroidered in that writing to make it look that kind of rough way, where it's quickly scribbled on, but it's not. And I think I just personally love that juxtaposition of you think that something is done really quick, or they've just sketched that, and actually it's been painstakingly done with a carpet needle and embroidering that into an actual canvas with the watercolour. And for me it was terrifying to do at the time, because you do that watercolour, you don't want to make a mistake because you're putting a hole in the canvas otherwise, and you've already made your painting. That I'm very proud of. We've got other pieces like Wow, the little girl behind us, and more pieces over here as well as like little pieces just like hidden, just here as well, which again is my love of Tracy Emin and Margate. So for anyone who knows me, they will probably understand why a lot of these pieces have been actually picked. So let me show you a couple more quickly. I said I wasn't going to show you a whole lot. I feel like the things I love, I'm showing you everything, but so this is the collection, and what I would say is it's shown up until 26. You can come on a Saturday. The church is in Honor Oak Park, and it's in St Augustine's Church in the park, and the nearest train station's Honor Oak Park. So you just turn right out of the station, walk into the park, and then you will see the big old church there, and it's in the church hall here. It's open on afternoons and Sundays, of course, for those who do know church times, but for those who don't want to go in church times as well, it is also open on Saturday from 10:30 to 11:30, where we do a wonderful coffee morning and open it to a community, to anyone to come, grab a coffee, have a look at the work, and also proceeds, I believe, for then goes to charity as well, which is really good. So if you wanted to actually have a one-to-one with me, do contact me, leave me a message. I'm also leaving contacts on the blog as well. And generally, I just wanted to share this with you. I'm always going from gallery exhibition to gallery exhibition and sharing with you what other people are doing. But also come and check out my exhibition as well, which is, as I said, running to 26th of December. I think I've said that enough times now. Hopefully you like, and if you can't come to the collection in person, there's close-ups on the website as well if you want to have a look, and if you just want to leave me a comment, I'd love to see what you've got to say as well, and sending you quirky love as always, and thank you for watching. Next week we will be tuning in and watching me at Lucian Freud, going to a garden museum, and I do something that makes me enjoy myself but almost cry in fear at the same time, challenging. So I hope you enjoy that. Bye for now.